My buddies Ryan and AJ from Those Bourbon Guys came up with a new challenge, or really a question. What got us into whiskey and where has it led to now? Stay tuned to find out my answer. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways Plus Plus, and today I invited myself to answer this question. Loser! I thought it was an interesting question and it made me think. When I was thinking, I realized there was really two different times in my life that I used to drink whiskey. So I have two different variations to answer this question. You're probably thinking, what? Well, let's get back into it. So first, we're gonna travel all the way back to my college days, many moons ago.
Many years ago.
And this is when I would drink whatever there was, and especially whatever was the cheapest.
Come on, you, cough up a bucket, cheap bastard.
Happy hour was our friend. So, like AJ, I did drink Crown back then. Yeah, I drank Crown, but I drank it as Crown and Sprite. I don't drink a lot of Crown. This huge bottle is because my parents just had their 40th anniversary and this was left over, so they gave it to me to bring home. What else did I drink back then? Another thing I drink is probably something a lot of you have had and a lot of you drink all the time and might even still enjoy today. Jack and Coke. Yep, the old Jack and Coke. It's so popular that when you go into a store to buy Jack, there's usually some Coke right next to it, so you can just grab both at the same time. Beautiful concept.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, even back then, what else did I drink? The last drink I always drank was 7 on 7, which was a Seagram's and 7-Up. So we're gonna do something fun. HRH and I are going to recreate these drinks and try them again for the first time in a long time. Now, I don't know if she's ever tried any of these. I don't know what's popular nowadays or what was popular when she was in college, but just wait to see the craziness that may come out of this. Now onto the second variation. When I first got into drinking bourbon and whiskey neat, it was a different time in my life. So this happened during the SARS pandemic. I changed from beers to whiskeys mainly because whiskey does not contain sugar.
Sugar! Need sugar!
However, at that time, I had no idea where to start. So I bought lots of stuff trying to figure out what I liked. At that time, I hadn't figured out my palate yet. So I always drink whiskey either as an old fashioned with lots of sugars and maybe some bitters to, kind of hide the whiskey, or on the rocks to kind of help mellow out the whiskey as, it watered down a little bit. I don't think either way is wrong, because I would say drink it the way you enjoy it. That's the best way to drink any whiskey, is how you enjoy it. But at that time, I was not able to drink anything neat. I always thought whoever drank high proof whiskey neat were crazy. And there is no way that ever tasted any good, and there is no way I would ever like that. Well, that was until. So I was working and a nice gentleman named Ben worked in the office right next to me. I would always see him and say hi and we chat a bit. Then one day we started talking about bourbon. Long story short, I found that he owned a liquor store. I had no idea. So he took me into his office and showed me a little collection that he had stored there. At that time, I didn't even know what I was looking at. I would later realize the beauty of his little collection there. So what he did is he pulled out 2 glasses and he poured us a small sip neat. Ooh, I was worried, but I didn't want to be rude. So I took that glass and I hesitantly sniffed a little bit and then took a tiny little sip. Just enough to wet my lips and my tongue. And wow, for the first time I enjoyed a pour neat. I looked at him in surprise. He just smiled and then he showed me a bottle of Eagle Rare.
Bourbon, Eagle Rare neat.
That's what he poured me that day. But the story doesn't end there. That wasn't enough to convince me that I need to start drinking bourbon or even trying more neat. It was soon after that I was traveling to New Orleans, and of course, we went out to eat. My family and I love to travel to eat. Man, do I love and miss New Orleans cuisine right now. Just talking to my wife about that the other day. Well, my father-in-law, he wanted a bourbon and Coke. Normally it's rum and Coke, but he figured in New Orleans, let's try bourbon and Coke. But their waiter said, I will give you bourbon, and if you want, I'll still give you Coke afterwards. But I must insist that you try this bourbon first neat. So what he did is he brought him out a small glass with a pour, and it was a pour of Blanton's. My father-in-law was so impressed, he told me that I had to order one, so I did. That was my second neat pour that I really enjoyed. So it is what opened me up to thinking, I need to try more bourbon. It was my gateway into the amazing world of bourbon and trying bourbon neat. So that's where I was. Let's talk about what now I enjoy drinking. Let's start with daily sippers. A daily sipper that I like to drink is Bardstown Origin Bottled and Bond. As you can see, I've already gone through this one. Luckily, I already have a backup for this. Also, another daily sipper I enjoy is Barrel Vantage. I've talked about this in a few videos, and it is really one that I keep on my shelf all the time. Next on my list is Still Austin Bottled and Bond series. Both of these are great pours, great daily sippers. I enjoy them both. I can't wait for the next one to come out. It's the Blue Corn series, and I've heard that's Nancy Fraley's favorite one. I did get a sample of that, and it was pretty amazing too. Last for my daily sippers is Blue Note Uncut. For the price of this and the flavor that I get out of these, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of store picks that I picked up a few, and it's such a good pour. Wow, wow, wow. Great daily sipper. Now to continue what I'm drinking now, and when I want something with a little bit more flavor or a little bit more kick, I do enjoy E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. The small batch is great, but this one just adds a little bit more flavor to it. But if I had to choose, I choose this one. But if I have this the small batch in front of me, I definitely take a pour of that too. It's such a good pour. Also, I do enjoy the Redwood Empire, especially their cask strength. Pretty much anything I've tried from Redwood Empire, I've enjoyed, but I really have enjoyed their cask strength. Also on my list is Weller Foolproof. Now, I do enjoy the Weller 12, but Foolproof beat it out for me just about a year ago. But the 12 used to be my favorite for the longest time. And the 12 is a little bit easier for me to find as well. Last year I did discover Calumet 16. It was probably one of my favorite pours of last year. So it's one that, you know, you can still find on the shelf. It is a little bit pricey. And my palate has changed a little bit, but I still really do enjoy this one when I just want something a little bit aged and a little bit stronger. And last but not least on that is, of course, Stag. Such good pour. Sometimes I just do that when I just want one drink for the night and want something just you know, make my day end in a good way. It's a great way to go with that.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Now, for those special occasions or just have one of those days that you just kind of need a great pour, one of the ones I like to go to is the Van Winkle 12 Years. I was super excited when I got this bottle, and apparently I really do enjoy it. Great pour. Also on that list is probably one of my favorite bourbons of all time, George T. Stagg. Now, 2022 was an amazing pour. I was super excited to try that. I didn't get a bottle of it, unfortunately. But great pour. And then my last one in this category is Old Forester Bourbon. Super hard to find sometimes, but great pour. It's fun to drink. My daughter HRH loves this one, so I also have to watch when she comes over how much goes down in it, you know. But you know what? That's what the bourbon's for, right? Sharing is caring. Now, recently I started to venture out, and I really wanted to try more whiskey, so I decided I wanted to try more craft whiskeys as well. So I have these three here. I will be doing a review on these very, very soon. I did do a cigar blend blind with this Friday at Fred's cigar batch in that mix. Now, that video is already filmed, but will be coming out very, very soon. I think you'll like the outcome of it. It was actually a lot of fun to film. It was my first time tasting any cigar blends, and wow, was that fun and great, and just tasted just so much flavor there. So the question is, where did you start your whiskey journey? What do you enjoy drinking now? Leave those in the comments below. I would love to hear where you started and where you are now. I love that journey. I know we all have different adventures that we went through to get from where we were to where we're at today.
Adventure.
Also, please make sure to subscribe. I'll be giving away these 3 bottles to one lucky winner once I hit 1,000 subs. So make sure to sub so you have a chance to win. Also, hit that like button. If you like these videos, hit that like. It really helps me out and helps the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to click on that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. I know I invited myself on this journey, but I want to continue this. I want to invite 3 other buddies to see where were they when they first started and where are they now. So I would like to invite your drinking buddy, Matt and Pat from Minor Stuff, and of course, those magnificent bastards, Rex, Daniel, and Brianna over at Whiskey Tribe. That would be amazing. I would love to see their journey. They all have such amazing collections, so I would like to see where they started, how they progressed, and how they got to where they are at today. Thank you again for joining me on another journey down my bourbon rabbit hole. Till our next journey, my friends, cheers.